Hi everybody and welcome to Pomeroy Art Academy's Breakfast Club. And this week we're going to discuss how to create a comparative model sheet and why they are so important. So let's get started. In doing a comparative model sheet, they are really kind of important because it shows the relationship and size of all the characters in a complete cast of a production. So I'll start with a ground plane here. And the lineup is important because you need to know how big a character is against another character. So let's start with, let's say we have Tig here. So we have Tig, I'll rough him out there. And say we have one of our characters from an early lesson that we did, Twinkle. She would be about that big, almost at his eye line. And what we would do is we would create an invisible, or we would create a light line that would go through Tig's eye line, just as a reference for the other characters. And once again, model sheets, we've covered model sheets in a previous episode on our Breakfast Club, and we've also have it as an available lesson. I think it's lesson 9 on our first 15 lessons on Pomeroy Art Academy. Let's see, I will rough in Orville. Let's see, Orville will be right about there. He's about the same size as Tig. I can, let's see, I would do a larger character. I'll make that a generic character of some sort. I'll create a little bitty character. And then a medium-sized character. So we've got about 3 or 4 different sizes here, all mapped out relative to our main character Tig. So I'm going to start to tie down Tig. Tig is going to be our base character. And relative to him, we'll be able to see how all the other characters size up in their proportions. Do his little sweater, his little paw. He's got great big feet. Tig's got big feet, big little tail. So there's Tig. And Tig, I guess he would be about, I mean, if we were to put a size on him, he would be about 2.5 heads tall. So I'm just going to lightly indicate that here on the edge. And then Twinkle, let's see, she's got her little stem here to her flower. She's a flower fairy. Her hat is made up of a petal of a flower. There's her eye line. Part of an eyebrow, and she has kind of a cast shadow created from her little bonnet that she wears, flower bonnet. She's got little tiny flowers as a neckline, and then her outfit, her costume is made completely out of flower petals. And her little arms stick out like that. And there's her legs. She's got almost like little baby legs and feet, little on the chubby side. So there's Twinkle. So we got Tig, Twinkle, and next we'll do Orville. Now Orville and Twinkle are featured alongside Tig in the first 15 lessons on Introduction to Animation. So let's see, we've got Orville here. Keep thinking he's got glasses. He's a little prehistoric Dimetrodon. I think I remember he's got a bow tie. There's his little fingers, little reptile-like fingers. He's got little nostrils. And then he's got a little tail. He also has like this assortment, like scales on his back. There's his little tail in the back. And there's his feet. So there's Orville. So for this character, I'm going to use someone like Princess Daphne, because I'll get a human character in there just for scale. So she would be up here. She's about, I think, 5 heads tall. Let's see. 2, 3, about 5.5 heads tall. Eye line. Nose. Mouth. And then she got her little hairdo there. Neckline, shoulders. There's her arms coming out to the side. There's a little hourglass figure. She's wearing high heels. There's her knees. There's her bathing suit, her bust line. Let's see, her hands, when they lay down, would be almost at her crotch line. So I'll put her hands right there. So we can see, if this were one production, it would really come in handy to know all of the proportions of all the characters relative to each other. So her little crown, back portion of her hair, and all her long blonde hair flowing down. And then she has her veil draped over her shoulders and back. So there's Daphne. I'm going to write this up here. Comparative Model Sheet. Now here we'll just create a couple of little generic characters. Little elf type characters. Tiny little guys. So elf 1. And the next one would be one who's a little bit taller, elf 2. This one's just a little bit taller. His hands. There we go. Elf number 2. So there we've got a good lineup, and you can see, let's see, Tig's eye line riding straight across. His eye line would match Orville. His eye line would be the very top of Twinkle's hat. And it would be mid-thigh for Princess Daphne. And then his waist would be the top of Elf 1's head. And then his neckline would be the top or eye line for elf number 2. So all of these little reference points become kind of important to give a ratio of size to the main character Tig. So we can see the whole lineup of all the characters. And sometimes on these comparative model sheets, you'll have maybe 18 to 20 different characters all lined up. You can see their size proportions and their relative size to each other, which is really important. So, and that's a good start for putting together a comparative model sheet.